Tomorrow marks the one-year anniversary of the deadly massacre in Tucson, Arizona. 8 people were gunned down, 13 others wounded, including Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords. She and her husband, Frank Kelly, are scheduled to attend a memorial service there. National correspondent Ben Tracy takes a look back at what was lost and gained on that fateful day.
It was a sunny Saturday morning in Tucson. Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords was listening to her constituents outside this Safeway grocery store. At 10:11, the shots rang out. By the time Jared Loeffner emptied his handgun, 6 people were dead, 13 wounded. Gabrielle Giffords was shot in the head. 21-year-old Daniel Hernandez had been her intern for just 5 days. He ran towards the gunfire, covering the wound in his boss's head to hold back the blood, talking to her even as paramedics arrived.
They took over the medical side, but I wanted to stay with her because I knew that one of the things that often happens, especially in that kind of situation, is you often ignore the emotional side.
Daniel is now a senior at the University of Arizona and was recently elected to the Tucson School Board.
We are grateful.
He doesn't much like being called a hero, but at a memorial service after the shooting, the president didn't much care.
And Daniel, I'm sorry you may deny it, but we've decided you are a hero because you ran through the chaos to minister to your boss and tended to her wounds and helped keep her alive.
Actions that helped in Giffords' remarkable recovery. She has learned to walk again and recorded this message for her constituents this fall.
I'm getting stronger. I'm getting better. There is a lot to say. I will speak better. I want to get back to work.
Ben Tracy, CBS News, Tucson.
Joining us now from Tucson is Daniel Hernandez. Good morning, Dan.
Good morning. Thanks for having me, John.
Well, it's good to see you. You know, in the piece, once again, you heard President Obama refer to you as a hero. You have resisted that label for a long time. Do you still feel that way?
I still feel the same way that I felt back in January of last year. It's hard to disagree with the president, but I'm going to keep doing it because I still don't think that I deserve the title.
Well, I think the title emanates largely from the fact that when the shots were fired and a lot of people instinctively run the other way, you ran into the fray. And what did you first see and what did you do?
You know, when I got to the front of the line, because I was in the back of the line registering people as they were coming in, I saw multiple injuries. So I started trying to figure out who we could actually help. So trying to check for pulses, trying to check for respirations. And it was after 2 or 3 people that I had checked before I saw that the Congresswoman had been injured, and that's when she became my main priority because she had a very clear gunshot wound to the head.
Now, you were actually holding her head, she was bleeding, and you were talking to her. I'm wondering, where from within do you get the calm to kind of talk her through that, and what do you find to say?
You know, I knew that she was alert and she was conscious, and it was a really important thing to keep her engaged as much as possible because she had sustained a brain injury. So it was just letting her know what was going on around her, knowing that she would probably want to know what was going on around her because she was someone who was so inquisitive and so curious about everything. So just giving her all of the details that were around her while she was incapacitated.
And you had the presence of mind to do that. I've got to ask you a personal question. As a reporter, you see a lot of terrible things. You usually get there after the fact. I've worked in police departments where I've seen terrible things that have followed me in nightmares and in remembrances. You have to have a part of this that has followed you. How did that manifest itself, and does it still affect you?
You know, I've been very fortunate that I've had to talk about it as much as I have, which has really helped make sure that I don't have those nightmares and those flashbacks. But I do think about what happened on January the 8th quite often, and it's something that I take as a moment to reflect on what we can do better and how we can make sure that we prevent things like what happened on January the 8th.
Well, we got about 20 seconds left. You know, you're going to see Congresswoman Gabby Giffords for the first time since the shooting tomorrow. What are you going to say to her?
I'm just really looking forward to being able to see her back home in Tucson. It's going to be a great moment for a lot of us.
All right, well, Daniel, I don't care what you say. I'm with the president on this one. I think you're a hero. And thanks for joining us today.
Well, I appreciate it, John.